Okay, hello again. So now we're going to be looking at plotting of kinematic data. Okay, so last tutorial we were looking at plotting of ground reaction force data, and now we're looking at kinematic data. So if we look at our spreadsheet, we have 4 trials. Okay, so trial 1, 2, 3, and 4. And we have 4 variables. We have trunk angle, right hip angle, right knee angle, and right ankle angle. Okay. So what is our task? So our task is to compute the mean for each variable, okay, across all trials for each data point. So data point 1, 2, 3, 4, all the way down to the end, okay? So the first step is we're going to compute the mean for each time point. So what we're going to do is we're going to insert some columns, okay? I'm going to insert 3 columns here. Perfect. So I'm going to put mean trunk angle, and you can use whatever name you'd like. And we can see that the text in this case goes outside the cell. All I have to do is double click on the outside of the cell and it will fit to the length of my text. Okay. I'm also going to put in a standard deviation of the trunk angle. Fix that. Okay, perfect. So what I'm going to do is put equals average, double click on that. I'm going to drag from trial 1 to trial 4, enter. There's my mean for time point 1. Okay, it's really easy after that first step. All I have to do is see this little square on the bottom right hand side of the cell. I'm just going to double click on that. It's going to drag all the way down, and we can see that it's going to measure or compute the average trunk angle across all trials. Okay. We also need to plot the standard deviation, so we're going to put equals STD. Okay, there we go, standard deviation. Double click on that. We're going to do the exact same thing. Enter, click on it. We're going to double click that bottom right hand square and drag all the way down. We can see that the standard deviation for each time point is being computed. Perfect. Okay. So what we're going to do next is we're going to insert a empty plot. Okay. And hopefully you remember this from the last tutorial, but we're going to right click on it. We're going to go down to select data, and we're going to add a series. So what we're going to do is plot each trial on the same plot. Okay, so that's our first task here. So what we'll do is we'll do trial 1. Okay. Trial 1 trunk angle. And now I have to put in the x value, so that's going to be time. So I'll select time. Remember this trick, so Control Shift down. Okay, so that's going to highlight everything in the time column. And we'll come back up. We're dealing with less data here, which is a lot of fun. So we're going to go to trial 1 trunk angle. Okay, so this is going to be our y value, so Control Shift down, and we'll hit enter. Okay. Cool. We'll hit OK, and let's take a look at our first plot. Okay, so that's trunk angle for trial 1. Okay, but we have to do trial 2, 3, and 4 as well. Okay, so we're going to add those next. So we'll go to select data again, add. Okay, we're going to put trial 2 trunk angle. Okay, we're going to put in our x values, Control Shift down, and we're going to do our y values. So we're looking at trial 2 for this one. So select all the way down. Okay, and we got a few more we gotta add here. Okay, so we gotta add. This will be trial 3 trunk angle. Okay, we'll go to our X values. Control Shift down. Delete whatever in that Y box. Then we're going to come over to trial 3. Control Shift down. All right, so we only got one more left, so that's going to be trial 4, trunk angle. Okay, we'll put in our time column, Control Shift down. And we're going to put in our Y values, so this is trial 4, Control Shift down. Okay, so that's everything. So let's take a look at our plot. All right, so now we just have to label our plot. So what we're going to do is we're going to insert a title for the chart. So we're going to go over to design, so add chart element. So we're going to put a label on it. So we're going to do trunk angle. Okay, we're going to label our axes. So horizontal, that's time. Okay, and we're also going to do the vertical, so that's going to be trunk angle degrees. Okay. And we don't know what each of these colors means, so we're also going to have to input a legend. So we'll go down, add chart element, legend, let's add it to the right. And there we go. And we can enlarge that. Perfect. Okay. So that would be our first plot. And we can also adjust the legend as well. So we can see we can move it around. Oop. So you can decide where the legend is. Okay. This just allows for a nice, a little bit larger graph. Okay, so we just finished plotting each trial, so the trunk angle from each trial. And our next task is to plot the average trunk angle over time for each time point. Okay, and we're also going to have to include the standard deviation for each time point as well. Okay, so what we're going to do is just move this plot out of the way. Come back to our data, and we're going to insert a smooth line plot. Okay, right click, we're going to go to select data, and we're going to add data. So we're going to add average trunk angle. Okay, we're going to add the time values. So time, Control Shift down. We're going to come back up. And we're going to add our Y values. So that's our mean trunk angle. Click, Control Shift down. There we go. Okay, so let's take a look at our plot. That looks good. Okay, so now we need to add error bars. Okay, so to represent our standard deviations for each time point. Okay, so I'm going to more options, and we are going to go to custom, and here we have to specify what the standard deviation is. Okay, so it's plus or minus 2.42 degrees. Okay, so I'm going to Control Shift down for positive, Control Shift down. It's the same for negative. I'm going to come back up to my plot, And we're going to delete those horizontal bars. And this is what we got. So that's what it should look like. Okay. And all we're going to have to do here is label our x-axis and our y-axis. So we'll do that really quickly. Okay, so axes, titles, so we're going to primary horizontal, so we're going to put time. And for y-axis, that's going to be trunk angle degrees. Okay, so let's pull both those plots over. Okay, so there's plot 1, so all the trials. There's plot 2, average standard deviation. Okay, so you're going to have to do that for right hip angle, right knee angle, and right ankle angle.